So, Neepa, my first question is that why do you want to discontinue your current job or why do you want to change it?
Sir, I was allocated the Indian Police Services in after the 2022 result. I
Hmm.
had always thought of myself as an IAS officer and I had prepared for the same
Hmm.
and wanted to give the examination again.
Hmm.
However, I became even more sure of it when I went for my village visit in the Labasna Academy.
Hmm.
So there I could see that although the police was working very well when it came to on-ground situation, however, the problems that the people were facing were more intricately related to health, education. So I feel that IS would give me a better platform and would give me a better canvas because it has a lot of variety when it comes to job profiles. So that is
My,
the reason I gave
my
the exam.
concern is that why have you not thought about reforming the same? You could even stay there and reform your services, or would you not get a chance?
Sir, it is, in my humble opinion, it is more about the opportunities that IPS provides, which in some sense are limited to law and order. And I feel that the sectors that I want to work in are more related to the social sectors. For
Hmm.
example, the education, women and children development. So, sir, I feel that it's not about the reforms per se, but it's just about the plethora of opportunities that the administrative services provides.
Then why have you chosen the other services besides IAS? You may end up in any other service as well.
Sir, when I was going for my training,
Hmm.
I had a major injury, that is
Hmm.
a slip disc.
Hmm.
So all the doctors that I referred to
Hmm.
strictly prohibited me from joining the training because the training, as you know,
Hmm.
is very strenuous when it comes to physical endurance.
Hmm.
But, sir, I've been very lucky here, and with the support of all the medical staff, the physiotherapists,
Hmm.
and especially the ADIs, DIs, and the ustads here, I've
Hmm.
recovered very well, and I would wish to continue if I do not get the administrative services.
Nipa, I'll have a small monologue with you. There has been a year or more of death and destruction and displacement in Manipur. Recently, again, the women have started protesting. There were crimes against women and children as well. So, have we failed as a state in Manipur?
Sir, I would not say that we failed as a state. But having said that, there have been so many underlying factors which have, in a way, widened the fractures that were already pre-existing in the Manipuri society. So the intertribal clashes have manifested themselves in the form of violence. But sir, the long-term solution would actually come from the communities themselves. We've seen that there is a will to return to order in the form of surrendering of arms. But the continuous cycle of violence has to be stopped. And for that, I feel in the short term, we may use necessary force, that is to prevent escalation of law and order issues. But then in the long term, we need to have some kind of mechanisms where both the tribal communities come together, express their grievances. This can be in the form of one of the suggestions could be the truth and reconciliation committees that we've seen in a lot of states that have suffered from such civil war-like conditions.
Hmm. So, what about the Kashmir post 370?
So we've seen that a lot of developments have taken place once the initial doubts in the minds of Kashmiri people and the militancy has stopped there. So we've seen that the incidences of stone pelting have come down. There
Hmm.
have been a lot of infrastructure inflow to that state. Also, sir, we've seen that a lot of business opportunities have resulted from that kind of a
Hmm.
decision. But in the long term, sir, I feel that Kashmiri people have their own culture, which
mm,
needs to be preserved, and in the long term, a full restoration of a full statehood can be envisaged for such state.
mm. Any reforms in the corporate governance that you would suggest vis-a-vis the independent directors in India?
Sir, having worked in a corporate myself
Mm,
on ground, the reforms that were suggested in the 2013 Companies Act and
mm,
many other committees thereafter
mm,
were a very good start in a way that it divided the basic ownership function with the management function.
mm,
So, and in the also we've seen that many women have come forward in the form of independent directors
mm,
as mandated by the Companies Act. But I've also seen that there are some other companies which have not really followed this suit. So they've not really appointed independent directors, and the independent directors that have been appointed are from some of the associate companies.
mm,
So probably one of the solution can be to create a database of independent directors, and companies can pick and choose according to their criteria and according to their level of expertise that they demand from that
mm,
database. So this can be done at the level of MCA.
mm. So, Companies Act also gave a very novice idea of corporate social responsibility.
Yes,
It legalized charity of sorts, but do you think that it's working right on ground, or the companies are using it as an advertisement gimmick of sorts?
sir, the company that I worked in had the CSR in basically water development because our the parent headquarters were in a water scarce region, which
Mm,
effectively enabled the community there to have a good impression of the company. Having said that, I feel, sir, the schedule in which these activities are listed,
mm,
they are not really exhaustive per se.
mm,
So companies often feel hand-tied when they have to spend on different sectors. So, for example, we've seen that there are a lot of opportunities in research and development when it comes to probably AI or LLM, which
mm,
have not been really demarcated in the CSR.
mm,
Also, one other problem that I see, sir, is the fact that these projects take a huge time to cover. So
mm,
companies do really demarcate their funds, but
mm,
as and when the completion of projects is done, there is no on ground impact assessment. Plus,
mm,
sir, the last thing is that the implementation is lax because there are no penal provisions. The company just has to explain whether it has been able to spend 2% of its profit or not. So I feel that in the future, if we add penal provisions to it and if we mandate impact assessment, continuous impact assessment, and broadening the areas where CSR can be used will help us.
So, why is Nepal unhappy with us?
Sir, I'm not aware of this issue, sir. I'll read about it.
Why Nepal? Okay, think about it now. नेपाल को क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है रिसेंटली देयर वाज अ डेथ ऑफ द KIIT student.
Yes, sir.
Then there's a boundary issue, काला पानी वाला issue.
Yes, sir.
Then I'll tell you one more thing. क्रिस पॉइंट्स में यहाँ पे ऐसे ही आंसर कर देना, ये वीडियो बाद में देख लेना. नेपाल और चाइना के रिलेशंस अच्छे हो रहे हैं.
Okay, sir.
एंड जब आपने क्लियर किया था उससे पहले का इशू है 2015 में मदहेसी वाला ब्लॉकेड हो गया.
Madhesi. Mm-hmm.
बस इसीलिए वो दुखी है हमारे से.
Acha.
एंड देन यू से सार्क कंट्री का किसी का भी क्वेश्चन है, यू से सर इंडिया प्रोमिसेस बट चाइना डिलीवर्स.
Okay.
हम उद्घाटन कर देते हैं, फीता काट देते हैं, प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट
Hmm.
वो लोग करते हैं. एंड इट्स
Hmm.
ऑल अराउंड द वर्ल्ड. हमने प्रोजेक्ट्स तो बहुत छेड़ लिए हैं, बट
Hmm.
कॉस्ट ओवर रन हैं, एंड देन ये सारी इश्यूज हैं, बॉटल नेक्स एंड ऑल. हम
Yes,
अपने
sir.
प्रोजेक्ट्स नहीं पूरे कर रहे तो वहां क्या करेंगे.
Yes,
देन
sir.
चाइना कार्ड तो हर सार्क नेशन प्ले करता ही करता है हमारा.
Okay, sir.
And then we don't treat the Nepalis at par with the Indians. Even if the treaty of friendship with Nepal says that हम दोनों इक्वल हैं. नेपालीज कैन वर्क इन इंडिया, इंडियंस कैन वर्क इन नेपाल. नेपाली बेचारा जब इंडिया काम करने आएगा तो उसको एक मीनियल जॉब मिलेगा, लेकिन जब एक इंडियन वहां जाएगा सो ही विल ओपन अ दाबर इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड देयर.
Yes,
So
sir.
Nepal says that the treaty has to be revisited because it tilts in favor of India.
Yes, sir.
And then India always has been perceived to be acting as a big brother instead of an elder.
Yes, sir.
साठ. ठीक है, ये कर लेना.
And sir, there is also this Kala Pani issue,
हाँ,
which
काला पानी मैंने
has been.
लिपुलेट
Hmm.
काला पानी इशू दैट्स ऑलरेडी देयर. नेपाल ने अपने जो नए करेंसी नोट्स छापे हैं उनमें भी वो
Hmm.
इंडिया की टेरिटरी को अपने यहाँ पर डीमार्केट कर लिया.
Yes, sir.
इनफैक्ट नेपाल ने तो चाइना को भी धमकी दे दिया कि तुमने
Hmm.
वो टेरिटरीज इंडिया को क्यों दिया. वो
Hmm.
तुम, है ना, सो वील आल्सो नॉट गिव यू अक्साई चिन, एंड नेपाल इज सेइंग दिस. चलिए.
Okay.
So Nipa, we are giving tax holidays to the rich and we are
Yes, sir.
subsidizing the poor. Are we punishing the middle class in the process?
Sir, I don't think it would be correct to put it like that, because even for the middle class, there have been many incentives as far as the tax holidays are concerned.
Hmm.
So even in the new budget, it says that for people earning salary effectively up to 12 lakhs and 75,000, there is a
Hmm.
tax rebate.
Hmm.
And sir, even not only that, sir, the government, in a way, whatever it is doing in terms of the infrastructure that it is creating, the more employment schemes that there are, will eventually help the middle class. So even the budget this time, it is set to be a middle class's budget.
All right, I'll take this answer. Do you think that Viksit Bharat is too ambitious? 2047, are we able to breach the targets which are being set, or what is going to happen? 2047.
Sir, I don't think it is too ambitious. I feel it is just a natural course that India will take, because even the international organizations have called India a bright spot in a gloomy world economic order. And we've constantly steered through a lot of geopolitical shocks, be it Corona, be it the Russian war and the Israel and Palestine. So I feel that given our scenario, and we are already the third largest economy when it comes to purchasing power parity. So I feel that it's very natural. And but the thing is that how do we measure that Vikisit? How do we tell that okay, fine, now India is developed? Would it be in terms of our growth rate? Would it be in terms of our income per capita, or would it be in terms of our development indicators?
Hmm.
So, sir, we have to focus on all these three things. For the growth rate, I feel that we are already surpassing 6.5%. We just need it, and that too in times when the times have been very depressing per se.
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
just need about 7.9% or so compounded
8%, yeah,
annual
8% में
growth
हो
rate.
जाएगा.
Right, sir. And then in the development indicators also we are focusing, but sir, there are issues which pertain to inequality in India, and then
Hmm.
there is the global hunger index, which
Hmm.
somehow we
Hmm.
lag behind in.
Hmm.
But sir, I feel that the concerted efforts of the government with the community and the citizens would eventually help us to reach Viksit Bharat growth rate.
Hmm. So, are you aware that Starlink has a pact with Jio and Airtel?
Yes, sir.
So, what challenges are you looking into it?
Sir, although it is a step in the right direction, because it would eventually lead to the government's clarion call of digital India, and would also increase rural penetration.
Hmm.
However, sir, there would be challenges with respect to the privacy and security issues that come when we call upon a foreign company. So, sir, that has to be sorted out, and probably the stability of the deal has to be looked into. It becomes very important that both the companies they are competitor companies in India, and how that deal would work out is something that is yet to be seen. However, with adequate safeguards, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Neepa, you are on your way to get your Indian Administrative Services rank, which I'm sure you'll get it this year. Now, there would be a problem. The problem could be that your juniors could be your seniors. How would you tackle them? Would there be a problem?
Sir, I don't think that would be a problem, sir. Sir, as far as my juniors are concerned, I don't think one should measure their capability in terms of age. I think
Hmm,
merit should be the only
hmm,
criteria to measure it.
hmm.
And probably they would really have a lot of experience, more experience than me. So I would be willing to and open to learn from them in any case.
Okay. Are you aware of India's stand at the COP29, the recent COP29 in Azerbaijan, Baku?
Sir, I haven't read upon it. I'll go back and read it.
Yeah, you read three bullet points है ना, कितने ट्रिलियन डॉलर्स हम मांग रहे हैं, क्या हमने नया पॉलिसी मेजर वहां करा है.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about the Kal Chakra, people, peace, and planet. Have you read the Raisina dialogue?
No, sir. I'll go back
इसको भी
and read.
आप पढ़िएगा, हेडलाइन में ही है, सिर्फ तीन तीन लाइनें आप इसकी पढ़ लीजिएगा. You
Okay,
are
sir.
aware about the Sybil controversy. So Sybil is a private organization which has your data, and on the basis of your data, your credit worthiness is decided in future, and
Yes, sir.
even the rate of interest which would be charged for you. So one of the MPs raised this question in the parliament that the CIBIL score should not be a monopoly of a private organization. It should be
Yes,
in
sir.
the hands of the RBI, or it should be regulated by any financial regulator. What is your view on this?
Sir, I feel that definitely we've only heard of CIBIL for individual credit scores. So,
Hmm,
to avoid monopolization, I think there must be other companies doing the same. For example, even in the credit rating, we have Fitch and Standard and Poor. So, this leads to a reduction in risk of one company having all our data. So I feel, sir, there should be other companies. They can be private, they can be RBI regulated.
hmm,
Just the fact that they should be efficiently managing the data. So for that, I think the Digital Data Protection the Act needs to have built-in safeguards for companies like these also.
hmm. So I'll give you a monologue regarding the recent budget. If we see the FDI inflows from Mauritius and Singapore together, they were approximately 49% of all the FDIs which came in India. And if you look at the big manufacturing giants like America, Europe, UK, or Japan, collectively they accounted for only 20 to 30%. So you're aware that this explains the phenomenon of shell companies,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so, how do we tackle this? Is this something unethical that is happening or illegal that is happening? And is the government of India doing something about it? Or the government is happy that we at least have those FDIs? Would it be a loss to the government of India if this thing keeps on happening? What is it?
Sir, I feel in the short run, this might be beneficial for India because we've seen even the FPIs have FBI outflow we've seen in the recent times.
Hmm,
But in the long term, such kind of round tripping would not really boost any economic production.
hmm,
So basically, this is a nominal exchange of money and it does not really create any output. So,
hmm,
sir, I feel that we need to look into the FDIs and the substance of the FDIs that are coming.
hmm,
So, and we need to see whether they are not, whether they are in compliance with the double taxation avoidance agreements that we are having with other companies or the base erosion and profit sharing guidelines. So we need to have a look at them and check the substance of the companies.
hmm,
For this, India has already taken a lot of measures. For example, when talking about FDI from neighboring countries, which might be a security threat,
hmm,
has to be regulated by the government. And in other sectors where the government feels that more efficient way of receiving FDI is concerned, there they have this automatic route. So, sir, I feel that in any way, the substance needs to be checked in the long term.
hmm. Why is the stock market dwindling?
So the stock market is a little bearish this
Hmm.
time because we've for about 7-8 months we've seen a build up, and it seems to be a correction to that.
Yeah.
But so there are also structural factors which play a role in this. For
Hmm.
example, the investors are a little bit fidgety when it comes to trusting India.
Hmm.
Uh, Saying that now we are seeing that the reciprocal tariffs will come into effect from April 2nd. So there are a lot of concerns about that. And then, sir, more competitive markets are also available.
Hmm.
So we've seen a lot of outflows
Hmm.
in that sense also.
Hmm.
And also, sir, we've seen that there has been a lot of instant trading. For example, the intraday trading has increased because of the apps that are coming, and so there has been reckless investing also. Although SEBI has made sure that investor interest remains protected, however, the new buzz of investing within the people who are very, very young. So, for example, we've seen that people who are less whose age is less than 30 or 35 years, they
Hmm.
constitute about 45% of the retail investors.
Hmm.
So that means there have been instances of reckless trading,
Hmm.
and which has led to basically without any structural standing, this has led to the stock market crashes. And also, sir, we've also seen that US market has also crashed
Hmm.
because of Trump decisions. So probably that is also one of the reasons.
Perfect. Since you talked about US, what is withholding tax?
Uh, Sir, I'm not really sure about this.
Okay.
Sir,
India's.
one of the it is the equalization levy that is we levy that we have in India, which is about 6% of the total digital marketing
That's
revenue.
the digital tax or the Google tax.
Yes, sir.
वो डिफरेंट है। ये तब है, इट्स विद होल्डिंग टैक्स। मान लीजिए आपका यूट्यूब चैनल है और आप अमेरिका में आपने वहां की टैक्स ट्रीटी के हिसाब से कंप्लायंस के हिसाब से टैक्सेस पे कर दिए, तो आप यहाँ पर नहीं करेंगे। वो डीटीए की डीटीडब्ल्यू की तरह ही है।
Yes,
फाइन।
sir.
और कोई खास बात नहीं है। सो वी ऑल्सो टॉक्ड अबाउट द वेल्थ टैक्स, सैम पिट्रोडा टॉक्ड अबाउट इट,
Yes,
इंडियाज
sir.
old magnate, the IT guy. So, should we have it? Is it time to introduce it because Indians are getting wealthy day by day?
Sir, in a way, we already have wealth tax
Hmm.
because we tax the income of a person according to slabs. So
Hmm.
one of that is there. But sir, we already had an inheritance tax
Hmm.
which was withdrawn because it did not really accumulate a lot of tax,
Hmm.
and the cost of collection of tax went up higher than what was actually collected.
Hmm.
So probably, I don't think wealth tax would make a lot of difference because we're
Hmm.
already taxing the companies, and we're already taxing the higher end individuals. We're already taxing capital gains. Wealth tax would eventually lead to more of tax avoidance on the part of wealthy individuals. Like we saw in the Zamindari Act, also we saw that it was basically Benami transactions had increased that time. So instead of that, what we can actually do is that we must work towards abolition of the tax evasion uh, that is done by the higher net worth individuals.
तो कल मुझे एक स्टूडेंट ने एक बड़ा अच्छा लॉजिक दिया, इकोनॉमिक्स ऑप्शनल का है। ही इज वर्किंग
Yes,
इन
sir.
ऑडिट्स डिपार्टमेंट ही आपके गोवा में। सो ही सेड सर वेल्थ टैक्स इसलिए अच्छा नहीं है क्योंकि मान लो एक पर्सन के पास कोई इनहेरिटेड वेल्थ है,
Hmm.
लेकिन उसके पास कोई रोजगार नहीं है और उसका वेल्थ
Hmm.
भी प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर रहा, उसका घर ही मान लो चंडीगढ़ में या गुड़गांव में, और वो 20 करोड़ का 30 करोड़ का है, वो
Hmm.
हाउ वुड ही पे टैक्स?
Right.
वेरी सिंपल, वो
Hmm.
अनएम्प्लॉयड है या उसके पास कोई सोर्स ऑफ इनकम नहीं है या वो डिसेबल्ड है या वो नहीं करना
Hmm.
चाहता, ही डजंट वांट टू वर्क। सो हाउ
Hmm.
एंड व्हाई शुड ही पे टैक्स ऑन द हाउस व्हिच ही इज लिविंग इन?
Yes, sir.
वेरी सिंपल लॉजिक, मुझे बड़ा अच्छा
Hmm.
लगा।
Hmm.
सिंपलेस्ट लॉजिक एंड है ना, थोड़ा सा इसको
Hmm.
ये भी आप कह सकती हैं। पता नहीं पूछा जाएगा या नहीं पूछा जाएगा, आई डोंट नो, But still, he gave a
Sir,
good
I'll
point.
prepare.
I told it to you. So,
Hmm.
uh, uh, have I talked to you about the EU FTA?
No,
No.
sir.
So what's happening on that front? Recently, the Premier of European Parliament was also there in India. She
Yes,
recently
sir.
praised India a lot, that India is the next big thing. So what is stopping India EU FTA?
Sir, there have been issues on the model BTIA, the bilateral trade agreement that we've seen. So there have been issues regarding the most favored nation clause. Although we have eventually acted upon it in spirit, there is no
Hmm,
specific mention of the same in the new model BTIA. So
hmm,
one of that is the issue. Then, sir, there are apprehensions with respect to the investor dispute resolution settlements in India. So
hmm.
that is there. And sir, also you, sir, I'm not able to recall any other point. So probably
थोड़ा सा brush up कर लेना, ऊपर
yes,
ऊपर से देख लेना. So you are a beneficiary of the coaching mafia. Is it fair
yes,
to say so, ma'am Neepa?
sir. I don't think that would be the correct way to put it. But yes, sir, there is this popular narrative that there is a coaching mafia who controls monopoly of two or three big institutes, and that they control the entire market and they dictate the terms,
Hmm,
which is in a way also true.
hmm,
But sir, I feel that more regulations and more healthy competition would eventually lead to decrease of the monopoly that these two or three coaching institutes have. Also, the government has also given a lot of guidelines with respect to how education in itself should not be commercialized, and it's a public good, so it should be freely distributed. So I feel if with that and online classes coming up and good material being available, this would eventually reduce the effect of coaching mafia, and it will also be good for the mental health of the children who are preparing for such competitive exams.
hmm. Did your students get better ranks than you?
Yes, sir, one of them did.
Okay. So you called it a moral victory for yourself?
Definitely, sir.
Okay, definitely. ठीक है. चलिए. How to widen the tax base in India? Very simple.
Sir, the few methods that can be undertaken are firstly, we need to bring down the instances of tax evasion. Then we have to make it very simpler for people to file taxes. So, for example, we've seen that there have been new regime and the old regime. So, the deductions that were there previously necessitated assistance of a CA, which
Hmm,
effectively led to reduced tax compliances. So
hmm,
that can be done, sir. And basically, more quarterly compliance than annual compliance would help in this regard.
hmm,
And more usage technology integration. For example, now we have income tax which is filed
hmm.
through the internet. So there is
सरल
no
पोर्टल है ये.
hassle and delay there. So that can be done, sir. And sir, I feel that the government is right in this regard of reducing the tax rate for the middle class. But for probably for the high net in worth individuals, we can introduce more cesses, so that would probably help.
So the Delhi model of schooling was recently in news, and the government of the day even hyped it. Do you think the hype was worth it? I'm asking you because both your parents are in the teaching fraternity in Delhi, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
my first question regarding this is the Delhi model, and there was a happiness curriculum also introduced there.
Yes, sir.
Please throw some light.
Sir, so the Delhi model basically revolved around three major points, which was first one was the infrastructure improvement, enhancement, which was done through provision of better facilities at government schools, including libraries, swimming pool, computer labs.
Hmm,
And the other one was teacher training, which was done through sending government school teachers abroad for
hmm,
learning their best practices. The
hmm,
third one was innovative curriculums, for example, the happiness curriculum, as you mentioned. And
hmm,
then there was this entrepreneurship curriculum.
Hmm.
On the ground, yes, a lot of about 25% of the budget was
Hmm.
being spent on education alone, which actually improved the gross enrollment ratio when it came to the in Delhi schooling. Also, sir, we also saw a lot of uh, a good a good result when it came to class 10th and 12th boards. But
Hmm.
having said that, there were still some lacunae. So, for
Hmm.
example, on ground, we saw there was a report which was published, and on ground, the learning outcomes did not improve as much.
Hmm.
So, for this, even the new government is very inspired to work on the Delhi education model. For this, it has ensured that there are a lot of integration of new skills, that is the AI-based learning or the LLM-based learning are there, and then adequate focus is also given to probably the language lab, yoga, meditation. So, and ensuring that the entire curriculum is according to the national education policy, which would eventually lead to more equity and vocationalization in future.
So, as a student, not as a daughter, any suggestions would you give to your parents
So,
with respect to teaching?
with respect to, so one of the things that my parents do is they're very apprehensive of new technology. And sometimes when my mother has to teach on a smart board, she kind of has this anxiety. So I feel that one of the things that teachers must have is an exemplary conduct when it comes to taking initiative for new things. So I often tell her to be brave about it, and that's the only thing, sir.
Okay, that's the only suggestion you are giving. Now, let's talk about the NCRB report and the under trials. Recently, there was a web series called Black Warrant.
Yes, sir.
में ये सारी चीजें highlight हुई थी. So, would you say that the real status on ground today is also similar to what was shown there in the web series regarding the jails and the under trials?
Sir, I haven't had a very practical experience when it comes to prisons,
Hmm.
but as far as the reports that I've read, is they point towards overcrowding of prisons.
Hmm.
And sir, the data also indicates, like for example, we've seen the average rate of occupancy in prisons is more than 130%, and
Hmm.
in Delhi it comes out to be 180%. And we've also seen that there are a lot of cases of recidivism, wherein the criminals become hardened because first timers are clubbed in with the hardened criminals.
Very
So
good.
they in the prison they find out networks, and then they venture into more serious crimes. So
Hmm.
one of the things that prisons is that they have become breeding grounds for more crimes in the society. So
Hmm.
this can be reduced by ensuring that adequate additions to infrastructure are done, because we've seen that no modernization according to prison manuals have been done in the recent years. And probably also we can include in a lot of innovative curriculum. So, for
Hmm.
example, we've seen that in Delhi prisons, especially the prisons, are given opportunities for employment. And for example, we had a lot of exhibitions in Mandapam that was recently built. And
Hmm.
there, on ground, I saw that a lot of people from Tihar jails were working as cooks, as cleaners. So this gives them a sense of dignity also. And also,
Hmm.
sir, a lot of courses have been organized in the prisons when
Hmm.
it comes to basically teaching them or involving them in constructive activities such as yoga and meditation. So
Hmm.
probably that can be replicated. And also, sir, effectively, we need to expedite the investigation, charge sheet filing process, so that and also the judgment pendencies have to come down so as to bring down the number of under trials.
Hmm. Has the Kumbh Mela failed the Namami Gange project?
Sir, we've seen that in the past, more than 4,000 crore rupees have been spent on the Namami Gange project. And according to the recent report of the CPCB, the fecal coliform bacteria after the Kumbh Mela was way above the permissible limits. So, in a way, there were accusations of the Ganga being polluted.
Hmm.
But, sir, we have to look at the Kumbh in a broader light. It promoted a soft India. It promoted India's image as a soft power. It also was the biggest congregation of the world that it has ever seen, and it
Hmm.
was a sangam in its true sense. So I feel that Namami Gange needs to focus more now on the self purification capability of the river Ganga, and also it must like, for example, we focus more on the riverfront development there and not on
Hmm.
the flow of the river. So
Hmm.
that needs to be done now. That needs to be focused more now.
हम्म। और एक और बता देता हूँ, सीपीसीबी ने भी बैक ट्रैक कर लिया है। जब यूपी गवर्नमेंट ने इसको अपोज करा, उन्होंने एक नई रिपोर्ट निकाल दिया जिसमें बोल रहे हैं गंगा इज फिट फॉर बेदिंग, ड्रिंकिंग,
Yes,
वॉट
sir.
एवर यू वांट टू बी
Yes, sir.
नाउ। Why are the medical colleges the ragging hotspots of India? Recently, there has been a report. If you want, I can cite the report. The report is The State of Ragging in India 2024, published by the SAVE, Society Against Violence in Education. This report has made headlines in almost all the dailies. अच्छे टाइम्स की रिपोर्ट ही पढ़ रहा हूं मैं। तो
Okay.
why medical colleges? मुन्ना भाई MBBS, you've seen that.
Yes, sir.
And hmm.
Sir, I haven't read the report, sir. I'm not really sure about
Okay,
this.
I'm not talking about the report. I'm just asking you to guess that why medical colleges, what could have been the reasons that the medical colleges are proactive in ragging? Is it related to the medical education that they are imparted or what? Can you guess something?
Sir, not able to
Can we
guess.
discuss it if you want
Yeah,
to?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो
Please.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है, देखो पता मुझे भी नहीं है, मैं सिर्फ एक गेस मार रहा हूँ क्योंकि अभी मेरे सामने डाउट आया किसी बच्चे का। मैं इसको ऐसे एक्सप्लेन करूंगा कि मेडिकल प्रोफेशन में जो फ्रेशर जाता है और जो सबसे सीनियर हो जाता है, उनमें एक एज डिफरेंस और सीनियोरिटी का डिफरेंस बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है। वो
Hmm.
MBBS MD करके 6-7 साल बड़ा सुपर सीनियर बन
Hmm.
जाता है। एंड
Hmm.
फिर ये ट्रेडिशनली ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी है कि देयर इज, जब आप 5-7 साल एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में या इंस्टीट्यूशन में बिता लेते हो, लेट्स से
Hmm.
एक घर में सास है और एक नया, वो भी एक आउटसाइडर है और एक नया आउटसाइडर आया जो है बहू, तो सास
Hmm.
को अपने आप वो जगह अपनी लगने लग जाएगी। शी हैज अ फॉल्स सेंस ऑफ प्राइड, एंटाइटलमेंट एंड सुपीरियोरिटी। एंड द न्यू
Yes, sir.
पर्सन हु इज गोइंग टू टेक हर कीज, या उसकी जो चाबी ले लेगी या जगह ले लेगी तिजोरी की या किचन
Hmm.
संभाल लेगी, तो वो उसको एक आउटसाइडर लगने लग जाता है। तो ये पावर
Yes, sir.
डायनामिक्स यहाँ पर एक्ट करता है।
हाँ.
खुद भी मैंने इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, मैंने खुद भी एक्सपीरियंस करा है। थ्री
Hmm.
इडियट्स में भी हमने देखा रैगिंग वाला, और
Yes,
ये
sir.
मेडिकल कॉलेजेस में भी हमने देखा।
Hmm.
चौथी चीज मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि यूजुअली द एलीट, एलीट क्या, नॉर्मली ऑल, ऑलमोस्ट ऑल मेडिकल एंड इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस आर एसोसिएटेड विद द हॉस्टल इकोसिस्टम, जहां
Yes, sir.
पर ग्रुप सॉलिडारिटी बहुत ज्यादा हो जाती है और रूल्स वगैरह
Hmm.
को फोर्स नहीं कर पाते हैं। तो ये मेरा
Hmm.
एक गेस होगा इस पर। अभी ताजा ही क्वेश्चन आया है। एक मैं और गेस कर सकता हूँ कि रैगिंग स्टार्टेड एज अ वॉलंटरी थिंग, कि चलो तुम लोग नए आए हो, आओ मिलते हैं, घुलते मिलते हैं। जैसे
Hmm.
अ, वरना सिस्टम स्टार्ट हुआ था कि भाई तुम्हारा दिल है, तुम वो वेद पढ़ना चाहते हो, तुम्हारा दिल है तुम ट्रेड करना चाहते हो, तो तुम ये चीजें कर लो। लेकिन धीरे धीरे विद टाइम व्हाट हैपेंड, इट बिकेम उसकी ड्यूटी एंड उसकी प्रिविलेज। ओके नीपा, आई थिंक योर सिग्नल्स हैव बीन कट और समथिंग। तो वे वो भी।
Sir, the Varna system.
हाँ, तो वर्ना सिस्टम में भी जैसे पहले तो ब्राह्मण्स का कोई प्रिविलेज नहीं था वेदास को पढ़ना या टेम्पल्स को पढ़ना। धीरे धीरे क्या हुआ, जो ये उनकी अथॉरिटी बन गई या उनकी एक प्रिविलेज बन गई और उनकी ड्यूटी बन गई टू सर्व दी अदर वर्नास। उसी
Hmm.
तरह सीनियर्स और जूनियर्स में भी ये हो गया कि सीनियर्स की एक प्रिविलेज बन गई कि वो रैगिंग लेंगे, और जूनियर्स का
Hmm.
एक ड्यूटी बन गई कि उनको तोहफा कबूल करो एंड ऑल दैट, वो जो
Hmm.
सलामी कबूल करो। सो
Hmm.
आई थिंक दैट we could explain it in this manner. What do you say?
Yes, sir. So very right, sir. Because I've studied from a commerce college and we really didn't have any
हाँ,
ragging.
हाँ हॉस्टल
because
को, हाँ
there
ये
was no hostel ecosystem, and
हाँ,
the senior most person was only 2 years older to
ये
us.
अपनी एज ग्रुप का ही होता है ना।
Yes, sir.
लेकिन इंजीनियरिंग में अगर एमटेक प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं तो 5-6 साल ऊपर हो जाते हैं।
Uh,
और बीट और मेडिकल में भी मैंने एक्सपीरियंस करा है कि वो 6-7 साल बड़े भी हो जाते हैं।
right, sir.
और फिर एक और चीज है, वो वहीं पर इंटर्न भी करते रहते हैं, तब भी उनको सीनियर ही बोलते हैं।
Hmm.
हमारे भी जो सीनियर्स थे, दे वर ऑल इंटर्न्स, लाइक 6 से 7 7 साल बड़े हो जाते थे हमसे, वो भी
Right,
प्रोजेक्ट
sir.
में लगे रहते थे। एंड
Hmm.
वी यूज टू रिस्पेक्ट देम टिल दे आर लाइक तो ये वाली
Hmm.
चीज तो, आई थिंक दिस इज दिस।
Sir, do they have the affidavit that we were made to sign, anti-ragging
हाँ,
affidavits?
अब देखो वही है ना, एफिडेविट सबके पास है, लेकिन ग्रुप
Hmm.
सॉलिडारिटी एक इस एज में इतनी ज्यादा होती है ना, और
Uh,
ना समझी इतनी ज्यादा होती है, बिकॉज दिस इज अ रॉ
hmm.
एज। अल्टीमेटली
Hmm.
डॉक्टर्स आर ऑल्सो इन देयर मिड 20s एंड 25s एंड
Right.
30s के बीच में। तो
Right.
थोड़ा बचपना भी होता है, दैट कोई कंप्लेन करता ही नहीं है।
Hmm.
और एक
Sir, I
एक्सेप्ट,
feel that this should be also mentioned in the new acts, the BNSS,
हाँ
because we've mentioned mob lynching also. So this
हाँ,
is also basically a crime when it comes to
रैगिंग
the
हैज टेकन मोर डेथ्स देन द कोटा सुसाइड्स,
yes,
ऐसा
yes.
बताया जा रहा है रिपोर्ट में। आई एम शॉक टू
Hmm.
हियर दिस रिपोर्ट, एंड डेफिनेटली
Hmm.
दे आस्क द स्टूडेंट्स।
Hmm.
अगले 2-4 दिन में जो इंटरव्यूज हो रही हैं उनको पक्का पूछेंगे लोग। पंद्रह
Hmm.
अप्रैल तक शायद भूल जाएं, मुझे नहीं पता, बट मुझे लगा कि मैं
Hmm.
आपके सामने रेज कर दूं, बिकॉज दिस हैज बीन
Yes,
एन
sir.
इशू।
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, सो नीपा, मैं, ओके टाइम है ना आपके पास 15-20 मिनट
Yes.
का?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
वांट टू आस्क यू मोर क्वेश्चंस।
Yes,
ठीक है,
sir.
ओके, व्हाट अबाउट द जुडिशियल अकाउंटेबिलिटी नाउ? नाउ देयर हैज बीन अ रीसेंट केस, एक जज के
Hmm.
घर में कैश पाया गया है। हाउ डू
Hmm.
यू एड्रेस इट?
Sir, firstly, there must be mechanisms in place both
हम्म
for the preventive aspects and the curative aspects.
हम्म
For the preventive aspects, I feel there is this cloud of opaqueness because of the collegium system,
हम्म
wherein the judges are appointed not on the basis of any sound logical reasoning, which is disclosed to the public.
हम्म
So probably the NJAC that was previously formulated could come back, but
हम्म
with a broader representation from both the civil society and the NGOs and SHGs. Probably that would help. The other thing that would help is we've seen that in the RTI, so all the public servants have to disclose their assets. This is done for the MPs, MLAs, the IPS and IAS, but for the judges, rarely this data is available. So that can be one of the things. Also, sir, probably the technology also can help in this regard. For example, we see that e-courts and live proceedings can be there so that the judge is not biased towards one community and does not have any incentive to favor someone. The
हम्म।
fourth thing that can help would be uh, uh, putting a prohibition on employment after uh, judgeship, so that can be done. So these are the preventive aspects. For the curative aspects, I feel a stricter measure of deterrence needs to be created through impeachment, and there is this internal complaints inquiry committee that has been set up. But sir, I feel that given the fact that no judge has so far been impeached in India, probably this can be a good example where we create a deterrence in judges so as to after giving them an opportunity of being heard, but then yes, to for the long term accountability we can ensure this.
What about Delhi police? The state is asking for Delhi police. Center says we don't want to give it. Do we
Yes,
give
sir.
Delhi its own police, or we remain with a single police, or we decentralize the police? What?
So there have been a lot of models when it comes to such kind of federalism. For
Hmm,
example, in the Washington DC, we've seen that the police has been demarcated into the state police and the
hmm,
central police.
hmm,
But I feel, sir, that Delhi is the fulcrum of a lot of things which go beyond the existence of just the national capital territory. For example, there are a lot of major buildings in Delhi. For example, the Parliament, the North Block, the South Block. All of these require intensive security and
embassies.
intensive bandobast. And so, I don't think that giving state its own police would help in this regard. Also, the NCT Act clearly mentions that police and public order would remain with center. So
mm,
the special structure of Delhi, I don't
mm.
think that necessitates a decentralized policing or a state police. I think it should remain with the center.
So have the agencies like CBI and ED been politicized? They're
Yes,
working
sir.
for political motives.
Sir, there have been recent accusations that they have been used to arm twist the opposition and the politician.
Mm,
But sir, I feel that they have done a good role when it comes to money laundering, because as per the recent reports, they have a 93% conviction rate,
mm,
which it itself proves that ED has done great when it comes to implementation of the PMLA Act. And sir,
mm,
CBI, although it also has been CBI has been called a caged parrot, but I feel some kind of a central agency is required to cover and investigate sensational cases, which might be outside the competence of state police. Uh,
mm,
saying that because they might have some vested interests,
mm.
so a central oversight agency is required in this.
What about Lokpal? Has it been defunct? I don't see it in news or punishing anyone.
Sir, I haven't read about this. I'll read about
Read
this.
about it.
Yes,
Now
sir.
you've been working in a private sphere as well as a government service.
Yes, sir.
So tell me the major differences in the work culture.
Sir, up till now, I've just like had a experience of private space. I'm going to enter into public space, but from my limited understanding, what I've thought is that in the private space, there are opportunities for you to probably overlook the hierarchy and give your feedbacks, your suggestions to even the CEO of the company. But in the public sense, it is more hierarchical, and there is a fixed way to go about it. Also,
Hmm,
sir, there are a lot of uh, uh, initiatives when it comes to private. For example, a lot of corporate tours are organized, and to create that kind of solidarity with the people that you're working with. In public sector, that is not the kind of culture that is there. So it is more in on lines of discipline and punctuality. So that is one thing.
you're aware of the bureaucrat, senior bureaucrat Ashok Khenka, sir, right?
Yes, sir.
And he's been recklessly transferred, and
Yes,
people
sir.
have called it punishment postings and many other terminologies, informal terminologies. What is
Yes,
your
sir.
view? Where have we
Sir,
failed as a system? Hmm,
sir, definitely this is a matter of concern, because frequent transfers not only disturbs the life of the bureaucrats and its
hmm,
family, but
hmm,
also snaps a lot of opportunities that the bureaucrat could have had he been there for a longer period of time.
hmm,
So it actually doesn't give the bureaucrat much headspace to work, because then once he gets when he once he gets familiarized with the ecosystem, he's forced to move. In this case, sir, I feel that there should be some kind of an institutional mechanism to
hmm,
stop this, because even for policing, in the Prakash Singh judgment, there is the talk of a police
hmm,
establishment board, which would ensure security of tenure for at least about 2 years, so
hmm.
that the policeman becomes acclimatized and then he can work on the development front. This could also be replicated for the administrative services, wherein the people are not given punishment postings, and there is proper oversight mechanism and transparency when it comes to transfers.
Okay, you tell me one thing now. You guide me on this. One of the students, she negotiated this answer very well. और
Yes,
वो
sir.
बोली कि सर मे बी उनको ट्रांसफर इसीलिए किया जा रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ हिज इंटेग्रिटी दैट ही गोज टू मल्टीपल डिपार्टमेंट्स एंड गिव्स हिज शी
So,
ट्राई टू
but we know that that's not true.
हाँ मैंने कहा हाउ मच विल यू How much can you bypass this? है ना कितना हम I don't think
हाँ.
that's a good answer. Or is
Sir,
it?
actually, applied that kind of approach of being overly optimistic with things. So when I had this interview and Raj Shukla sir was the person who's taking the interview, so he just bluntly said, "Aren't you speaking like an andhbhakt?" So
हाँ,
that was a very unfavorable remark that I
हाँ,
got. So I feel that it's better to just accept the reality and then try to give reforms
हाँ,
rather
but
than being in dark about it.
मैं भी यही सिखाता हूँ कि भाई एक्नॉलेज करो, उसके
हाँ.
बाद थोड़ा सा सब्टल डिफेंस एक गवर्नमेंट का दे दो आप, कि
हाँ.
कई बार जरूरत भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कारणों से भी जरूरत हो जाती है,
Right,
बिकॉज वी वांट पीपल टू रन द सिस्टम नॉट हॉल्ट द सिस्टम
right, right, right,
manner, है ना?
right.
But it does not mean that a little bit of corruption is a lubricating wheel of the greasing wheel of the economy or something. ऐसा भी नहीं बोलना है वहां पर. But yeah, at least we should acknowledge that yes, sir. Unfortunately, there has been a lot of death and destruction in Manipur, but we
Yes.
are working our bit because it's a
Hmm.
complex issue. AFSPA is in place, paramilitary, Manipur police is
Hmm.
working, army is there, and when
Hmm.
we saw that nothing is happening, we imposed president's rule as a last
Hmm.
resort, and
True.
hopefully the situation will come out. आई थिंक यही आंसर होना चाहिए. मैं खुद
Yes.
पर भी सेल्फ डाउट करने लग गया कि इसने तो बंदी ने चेंज ही कर दिया, कि सर वो
Uh,
56 बार ट्रांसफर हुए हैं, तो 56 नए डिपार्टमेंट्स को बेनिफिट हुआ होगा ऐसे इंटेग्रिटी वाले बंदे से.
so
मतलब
the point remains कि जब तक वो बेनिफिट होने लगता है तब तक ट्रांसफर हो जाता है.
एग्जैक्टली मैंने कहा उसको उसका फील भी नहीं आता होगा कि वो किस
हाँ.
डिपार्टमेंट में आया है अभी तक 6 महीने नए शहर में.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about the work-life balance now. Private sector
Yes.
mein Narayan Murthy sir said that we do not need any work-life balance. I
Yes,
think
sir.
the elite officers like you in IAS and IPS do not have a work-life balance. And
Right, sir.
there is also no work-life balance in army, which I have seen from within and outside. So
Yes,
what
sir.
is your take on this?
Sir, I feel that it's not really fair to compare a private sector job with public sector job
Hmm.
because public sector jobs, especially the IAS, IPS, they're not jobs per se, they are service. So
Services.
they require your full-time commitment, and you're never a civilian once you are in police or once you are in army. You
Hmm.
have greater responsibility, and that requires your continued devotion 24/7. Having said that, people who choose to go for a private job would really want that in their life they pursue their interests. And
Hmm.
if they're pursuing their interests, and if that interest is job, then I don't think that 70 hour is a big deal, and they would do it and they wouldn't really realize that we worked this much. But making someone do it and making putting a sanction upon it would really not be in favor of the efficiency and the mental capacity of the person.
So have we come out of the twin balance sheet syndrome, which we
So,
had 5 years ago?
sir, to a certain extent, we have, because a lot of initiatives have been taken by the government. For example, the monetization of the dead assets that were there. So this
Hmm.
has been done. We also have a Pragati platform where we keep on monitoring the stalled project, the Gati Shakti that was brought in to bring in more synchronization. This
Hmm.
has been there. But sir, there are still some issues with, and particularly the legacy issues that we
Hmm.
are facing.
Hmm.
We've seen that in even in the insolvency and bankruptcy board, the recovery rates have gone down. So
Hmm.
there will be some recovery issues, but sir, more or less we've uh, uh, tried to overcome them.
So Aurangzeb has of lately been powerful after his death more than he was when he was alive. Do you feel that?
Sir, this is because the recent communal riots that have erupted in
Hmm.
Nagpur,
Due to
and
his tone. Ah.
yes, sir.
And what would you
And
have done, officer?
sir, there can be both preventive and curative measures in this also. So, as far as the prevention is concerned, I feel the communities need to come together and to sort out their issues. So, the first thing that can be done is to create some kind of mechanism of peace communities.
Hmm.
And then, sir, for curative, I think immediate action would be to use of appropriate and necessary proportionate force so as to stop law and order escalation. There is this provision of Section 163 in the BNS, which
Hmm.
gives the curfew powers to the
Hmm.
magistrate.
Hmm.
And also, we can probably coordinate more with the social media
Hmm.
agencies so as to stop rumor mongering and hate speech. Also, sir, I feel that the root cause in this entire issue is the responsible portrayal by the filmmakers, because
Hmm.
we've seen that this the
Movie.
entire controversy interrupted because of the movie,
Hmm.
and also how people absorb those the
Hmm.
content. So people also need to have a lot of critical thinking within them.
Hmm.
And in this regard, I feel that education is something that can be used to correct this kind of anomaly,
Hmm.
wherein in India, a lot of communities exist together happily, but a small spark or a small controversy then leads to so much violence. So this can be corrected with the help of critical thinking
So
and
where
more
the women,
sensitization.
हाँ जी, ठीक है. Where are the women more safe, in Delhi or in Hyderabad? You are in Hyderabad right now, right? So what do you feel? Not as an officer, as a general civilian.
Sir, I haven't stayed here as a civilian, so I might not be able to comment on that.
You must have
But
seen civilians, huh?
yes, sir. Sir, there is a general notion that Delhi is not safe for women
Hmm.
because of the increasing crimes, and some of the most brutal crimes against women have happened in Delhi.
Hmm.
Also, although they have also happened in Hyderabad, but
Hmm.
I feel that yeah, Delhi is more unsafe because it caters to a large number of population from a varied multitudes of areas, and that kind of creates a cultural shock wherein this creates a very toxic power dynamic, and that's the reason more crimes of passion are occur in Delhi. Also, the one of the reasons why crimes in Delhi are more because they are reported more. So there is this facility of EFIR, and a lot of 86% of the population in Delhi is urban population with 82% of literacy. So they are well aware of their rights, and
Hmm.
therefore there is an increased reporting of crimes in Delhi. However, such is not the case with Hyderabad. And also, sir, although there have been steps in both the states for women's safety, for example, in Delhi, we have had CCTV surveillance, and in Hyderabad, we have special teams called the She Teams, which
Hmm.
is again modeled in Delhi as the new squads that have come for anti-eve teasing squads.
Hmm.
So I feel that both of the states are going towards women's safety.
Hmm. Can it also be attributed to the patriarchal boundary states of Delhi, Haryana, UP, and Rajasthan?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. I'll add
And,
that.
and that is why Bombay is safer for women,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
because Bombay is more cosmopolitan. Many people from abroad also throng to Bombay and all that. The
Right, sir.
Goan culture or the Konkan culture is there and all those
Yes,
things
sir.
है ना. तो आप ये चीज भी अगर आपको लगे तो आप ऐड
Yes, sir.
कर दीजिएगा.
Definitely, sir.
डेयरी राइटिंग में मैं क्या पूछूं? आई मीन, आई डोंट नो व्हाट विल दे आस्क. जर्नलिंग बहुत चल रहा है, देन पीपल हैव स्टार्टेड राइटिंग एक्सपीरियंटल जर्नलिंग एंड सो ऑन. पता नहीं क्या कुछ लिख रहे हैं. आई आपको क्या पूछेगा? पर्सनली यही पूछेगा, व्हाट डू यू राइट एंड व्हाई डू यू राइट एंड व्हाट इंस्पायर्स यू. आई थिंक यू कैन आंसर दीज
Yes,
वेरी
sir.
वेल. आपका आईआर का पोर्शन मुझे थोड़ा सा वीक लगा.
Yes,
जो
sir.
वीक इन द सेंस कि वीक नहीं है बिकॉज यू आर आउट ऑफ टच.
Hmm.
आउट ऑफ टच हो इसीलिए वीक नहीं है. मतलब ये है कि यू कांट
Brush
जस्ट,
up नहीं हुआ, sir.
हाँ, ब्रश अप नहीं हुआ, बट यू कांट जस्ट
Hmm.
से नो टू दोज क्वेश्चंस.
Hmm.
एज अ पर्सन ऑफ योर कैलिबर, आपसे उम्मीदें भी, जो हमारी बात हुई थी फोन पर, कि बढ़ जाती है.
Yes, sir.
एक्सपेक्ट मोर. अगर आपको उनको 190 देना है ना, तो आपको फाइट करना पड़ेगा.
Yes, sir.
अगर एक हिंदू कॉलेज का कोई 21 साल का लड़का लड़की आया है, 22 साल का, उसमें पॉल साइंस का एमए करके या बीए करके, तो उसको बहुत
Hmm.
इजीली वो पैम्पर करेंगे और दे देंगे नंबर 190 185. दे विल गिव हिम इन द प्लेट. बट आपके
Right.
लिए यू विल हैव टू फाइट फॉर इट।
Yes, sir.
तो अभी नेपा 15 दिन बचे हैं। आप
हम्म।
ऐसा करो, नेक्स्ट या विजन का आप इंडेक्स इंडेक्स एक बार छांट लो।
ठीक है सर।
इंडेक्स में आपको पूरा करंट अफेयर पढ़ने का जरूरत नहीं है। यू लुक एट द इंडेक्स, वहां
हम्म।
देखना दैट मोदी वाज इन कुवैत और द एमिर ऑफ कतर वाज इन इंडिया। हमने इंडोनेशिया के प्रेसिडेंट को 26 जनवरी पर इनवाइट क्यों किया, व्हाट
हम्म।
हैपेंड G20, या फिर ये
हम्म।
काल काल चक्र है जो, या से रायसीना डायलॉग का
रायसीना डायलॉग।
कोई बड़ा मिलिट्री इंटरवेंशन हुआ है, यूक्रेन में कोई नया पैक्ट हुआ है, कोई ट्रीटी
हम्म।
हुआ है,
ठीक है
पैलेस्टीन के
सर।
साथ कोई इशू हुआ है, हमास का जो वायलेंस चल रहा है वहां पर। बिकॉज
हम्म।
आईआर तो दे आर आस्किंग एवरीवन
हाँ, ट्रू सर।
irrespective ऑफ योर ऑप्शनल, एंड ऑप्शनल तो
हम्म।
आपका और इकोनॉमिक्स वाला आपका पोर्शन बहुत स्ट्रांग है। वो मैंने
ठीक है
देखा,
सर।
इट इज वेरी स्ट्रांग, यू डोंट नीड टू रीड एनीथिंग अबाउट इट, यू हैव डन द
हम्म।
बजट ऑल्सो। और आई थिंक पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज पर भी आप बड़ा अच्छा स्टैंड ले रही हैं, सोशल इश्यूज भी आप बड़े अच्छे टैकल कर रही हैं। हाँ, जुडिशरी के कुछ इश्यूज हैं वो भी आपने बिल्कुल ठीक बोला। रेयरेस्ट ऑफ द डेथ पेनल्टी, डेफेमेशन शुड इट बी क्रिमिनलाइज्ड, कंटेम्प्ट ऑफ
हम्म।
पर थोड़ा सा गौर कर लेना, बिकॉज दे बीन इन न्यूज। तो
यस सर।
आई प्रिस्क्राइब यू एक ही चीज, यू सी द इंडेक्स, क्योंकि
ओके
नथिंग
सर।
इज बियॉन्ड यू। अब ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आपको समझ नहीं आएगा कुछ इस लेवल पर
हम्म।
आकर। तो आप वो देखिए, और कहीं पर इशू है देन यू कैन इवन पिंग मी, यू कैन इवन
ओके
टॉक
सर।
मी। द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट एफिशिएंसी इंडिया में होना
हम्म।
चाहिए, नहीं होना चाहिए। इज आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया बिजी digging mosques and temples instead of preserving them?
हम्म।
एनीथिंग, औरंगजेब से रिलेटेड वो कुछ भी बना सकता है आपको। और व्हाट इफ यू वर द डीएम और यू वर द एसपी देयर इन बेलगाम, जहां पर कंडक्टर वाला इशू हुआ। आई थिंक वो एथिक्स
हम्म।
वाले केस स्टडीज आप इजीली कर लेंगी, जो मुझे लगता है। वो तो आपको, क्योंकि आप गवर्नेंस और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आप पढ़ चुकी हैं अच्छे से। और दिल्ली के और क्या इश्यूज हैं, एलजी वर्सेस दिल्ली, एलजी की पावर्स, वो जो एक
सर
केस।
अब तो हो गया।
हाँ, अब तो खैर
हाँ।
रिजॉल्व भी हो गया, अब तो बीजेपी आ
हाँ।
भी। बट स्टिल दे कुड आस्क अबाउट दैट केस एंड द ट्रिपल चेन ऑफ अकाउंटेबिलिटी, बिकॉज
यस सर।
रिसेंटली अगेन देयर हैव बीन आर्टिकल्स दैट अब एलजी को पावर्स फिर से टोन डाउन कर दी जाएंगी। जब
हम्म।
ऑप्शन आया था फिर से बढ़ा दी गई थी, ऑल दोस थिंग्स, बिकॉज यू बिलोंग टू दिल्ली। दिल्ली में क्लीनलीनेस एंड नेबरिंग स्टेट से जो स्टबल बर्निंग का इशू आ रहा है, या हाउ विल यू रिड्यूस दैट माउंट इन आजादपुर,
हम्म।
या why has recently Yamuna been politicized as a river,
यस सर।
politicization of Yamuna, या
हम्म।
what is being done। ये सारे इश्यूज एक बार आप देख लीजिएगा, उसी में विजन
यस सर।
के मंथली में आएगा। इफ यू से नीपा, वी कैन हैव अनदर सेशन अगर आपको चाहिए
यस
हो।
सर, डेफिनेटली सर।
अगर आपको चाहिए हो, सो इट वुड बी डिमांड ड्रिवन। आप मुझे
ओके सर।
लिख देना एक दिन पहले दैट वी वांट टू
हम्म।
सिट फॉर हाफ एन आवर, 45 मिनट्स और 1 आवर।
ओके सर। सर,
मुझे कोई,
this can be done closer to my interview so that more current issues can be discussed.
जब आपको इच्छा हो, मैं
Okay,
उसमें।
sir.
और आप मुझे मैंडेट भी दे देना कि इस इंटरव्यू का एजेंडा क्या होगा, व्हाट डू यू वांट मी टू
Okay.
आस्क यू मोर। You want me
Okay,
to
sir.
ask you more on IR? You want me to ask you more on the current aspects or the governance? तो मैं नहीं पूछूंगा, इकोनॉमिक्स और गवर्नेंस यू आर वेरी गुड, यू आर एक्सीलेंट देयर, क्योंकि
Okay, sir.
तुम, आपके मन में ही वो इंग्रेन्ड है चीजें, टैक्सेशन वगैरह आपको बड़ा अच्छा आता है, दैट यू डोंट
Okay,
नीड
sir.
टू डू। बस यही है कि आप टच में नहीं हो इन इश्यूज के।
Yes, sir.
बस टच में नहीं हो तो आप वो करो, और उसके बाद जब भी आपको लगे यू पिंग मी 1 day बिफोर, आई विल टेक इट इमीडिएटली।
Okay, sir.
ठीक है, एनीथिंग एल्स?
Yes, sir. Sir, can I also have the recording? I'll just make
हाँ
some
हाँ हाँ,
notes.
दिव्या विल गिव यू, वो दे देगी, शील
Okay.
गिव यू, वो अपने आप ही देगी बाय डिफॉल्ट। हाँ
Okay.
हाँ।
एंड सर, एक और चीज है कि जो ये कोचिंग माफिया वाला क्वेश्चन है उसको मुझे समझ नहीं आता कि हाउ डू आई टैकल इट बिकॉज।
देखो, आप कहो सर, आई वॉज वर्किंग देयर एज एन एम्प्लॉय, आई नेवर
यस सर।
वर्क देयर टू सपोर्ट द माफिया, सो कॉल्ड माफिया, or to oppose the mafia, or to reform the mafia. I just
हम्म।
wanted an employment, so I worked there. However, sir, if it is a mafia, I'm sure the government has taken some steps to reform them, just
हम्म।
as mental health guidelines for the students। यार एक वो भी पढ़ना, आप कोटा का ना एक बिल आया अभी पास हुआ है
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
कोचिंग इंडस्ट्री के लिए, वो भी याद आ गया,
यस
हाँ।
सर।
वो भी आप पढ़ लो।
हम्म।
तो बस
ठीक है
वो
सर।
उसमें उन्होंने उनका फी स्ट्रक्चर रेगुलेट कर दिया,
हाँ।
स्टूडेंट टू टीचर रेशो उनका रेगुलेट कर दिया। और अगर स्टूडेंट
हम्म।
को फीस वापस चाहिए तो वो बोल दिया, इफ द स्टूडेंट इज नॉट सेटिस्फाइड, या अगर 2 महीने बाद स्टूडेंट मना कर देता है कि मैंने नहीं पढ़ना, सो दे शुड रिफंड द फी। क्योंकि हर
हम्म।
इंस्टीट्यूशन में क्लॉज होता है कि वंस फी डिपॉजिटेड विल नॉट बी रिफंडेड। तो बहुत
हाँ।
इकोनॉमिक बर्डन आ जाता है। तो ये सारी चीजें आप बोल सकती हो वहां पर,
ओके सर।
है ना। देखो, माफिया आप नहीं बोलोगी, बट आप बोलोगी सर आई वॉज एन एम्प्लॉय if my
हम्म
employer is a mafia, what do I say?
हाँ
And वो, हाँ, अब यही बोलोगी that I was an employee there, and sir, yes, the government has done two reforms. I would not go to the extent of calling it a mafia, sir, but जो आपने बोला वो सही बोला. But sir, there can be reforms because every
हम्म
industry is regulated in India. So why not the coaching
हम्म
industry? And if
यस
there
सर
is an illegal money or there is some nexus, then that should definitely be stopped.
यस
एक
सर
और मुझे बताना, कुंभ मेला डेथ्स आप कैसे प्रिवेंट करती? ये बताया था हमने, हुई थी बात?
नहीं सर अभी तो नहीं बताया था
कुंभ की डेथ्स के बारे में देख लेना, और एक यूपी
ओके
में पेपर लीक हो रहे हैं वो देख लेना।
हम्म
भाई तुम अगर एजुकेशन सेक्रेटरी हो तो तुम क्या करोगी,
ओके सर
है ना, ग्राउंड पर सिचुएशन डालकर।
ओके सर
तो और तो जो यू मेक अ लिस्ट ऑल्सो, वी कैन डिस्कस, अगर ऐसे कोई इश्यूज आ रहे हैं
यस
यू कैन
सर
इवन मेक अ लिस्ट। ट्रांसक्रिप्ट को थोड़ा सा अगर टाइम मिले तो देख लीजिएगा आप, है ना,
यस
या टेक अ हेल्प फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ योर फ्रेंड्स जो भी कर चुके हैं इंटरव्यू या करने वाले हैं, बिकॉज वो प्रिपेयर कर रहे होंगे, so उनसे कोई लिस्ट विस्ट ले
हम्म
लीजिएगा आप कि हाउ टू
हम्म
टैकल इट एंड ऑल दैट, सो ऑल दैट
यस सर
करिए।
ओके सर
एनीथिंग एल्स?
सर दिस दिस इज ऑल आई गेस एंड सर एक जो YIS वाला क्वेश्चन है उसको भी शायद मैं अच्छे से नहीं जस्टिफाई कर पाती
या सो देखो, आप यही बोलो कि सर डेफिनेटली लॉ एंड ऑर्डर से बहुत कुछ ज्यादा एक आईएएस ऑफिसर कर सकता है।
हम्म
अगर आपको उसको एक एक अच्छा सा ओरेशन देना है ना, आप उसको ये बोलना कि सर, by virtue of being an IAS, I may
हम्म
not be an engineer. I can still build roads.
हम्म
I may not be a police inspector, but I can still ensure law and order issues.
हाँ
I may not be a doctor. I can still run hospitals. I may not be a
यस
nuclear scientist. I can still head the nuclear power plants of India. So I think,
यस
sir, that totally creates a different ecosystem for a person to work with. And
हम्म
it gives me a lot of diversity and inclusivity, and
हम्म
it makes my world much more wider in terms of how I can serve the people of India.
हम्म
I
ठीक है
think,
सर
yeah, you can just take
सर
something.
ऐसा ऐसा भी है कि थोड़ा मेरा एजुकेशन सेक्टर और वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर से थोड़ा वो है कि मतलब एज अ आउटसाइडर टू दैट सेक्टर आई
Hmm.
फील दैट आई कैन वर्क देयर तो वो पॉइंट ब्रिंग इन करना ठीक रहेगा कि फिर वो मुझे और ग्रिल करेंगे इसी चीज
जब
पे
आप ये कर दो ना, आप बोलो सर, आई एम नॉट अ टीचर बट आई कैन स्टिल रन स्कूल्स, आई कैन स्टिल
हाँ
ensure that the right to education is safely enforced, sir, by
हम्म
virtue of being an IAS officer, which, sir,
हम्म
I feel that I have some limitations by virtue of being a police officer.
ठीक है सर
देखो, हर चीज का स्पेशलाइजेशन देखो ना। मैं
हम्म
प्रिंसिपल नहीं हूँ, मैं स्कूल रन कर सकती हूँ, मैं डॉक्टर नहीं हूँ, मैं हॉस्पिटल्स रन कर सकती हूँ, कोविड की दवाइयां
हम्म
दे सकती हूँ। मैं कोई
राइट
मैं कोई स्विमर नहीं हूँ, मैं डिजास्टर रिस्पांस फोर्सेस को हेड कर सकती हूँ, उसका भी हेड
हाँ तो
नहीं बनाया जाएगा, है ना।
हम्म
मैं रूरल एरिया से नहीं हूँ, मैं फिर भी लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नेंस में लोगों को हेल्प कर सकती हूँ। मैं
हम्म
न्यूक्लियर साइंटिस्ट नहीं हूँ, ये मैंने अपने इंटरव्यू में बोला था। मैं न्यूक्लियर
अच्छा
साइंटिस्ट नहीं हूँ, तो मैं आई कैन डू सो मेनी थिंग्स। तो
हम्म
इसे आप जवाब दीजिए ना। I
ठीक है
give it
सर
very rarely to very rare people I know, because I think I own this answer, so I don't give it
हाँ।
ये कॉमन।
अब बहुत अच्छा आंसर है सर ये इसको थोड़ा अपने में डाल के यार
क्योंकि आई से दिस व्हेन आई गो फॉर सेमिनार्स एंड ऑल, जब
यस
मैं
सर
कभी किरोड़ी मल में जाता हूँ, कहीं भी जाता हूँ
हम्म
जहाँ मुझे मौका मिलता है, सो आई से
हम्म
दिस कि मैं आपको एक ऐसा प्रोफेशन बताने जा रहा हूँ जो
हाँ
आप
जो
कुछ भी नहीं है लेकिन आप सब कुछ है।
सब कुछ कर
यू
सकते
आर अ
हैं
गॉड ऑन अर्थ, डोंट से दिस
यस सर
that I'll be a god on earth, but then you say whatever you want to,
सर
right?
डेफिनेटली सर बहुत दिमाग खुला है अभी मतलब इतने मैंने 1 to 1 किए बट दिस वाज द
चलो,
बेस्ट बाय
चलो,
फार
थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू
जी,
थैंक यू सो मच थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर योर टाइम
जी,
थैंक यू सर
थैंक